The other thing that we wanted to do was to, making meaning motor, we wanted to really get the kids to use their knowledge to try and make predictions, and this was a fantastic example. This was basically looking at volcanoes, and so we put up a series of words on cards on the whiteboard because they've been magnetised, and the children had to negotiate the order from the most gentle volcano to the most, well, I guess the most powerful. Now, most of those words they'd never seen before. This is grade 5, 6. They'd never seen these words before. What was really exciting was that they would sit there and talk about, okay, we all know gentle, but explosive or mega colossal, and mega colossal man in some movie that they'd heard of, and then they had to negotiate to get them back into their correct order. So using the knowledge of other words to come up, there were more, but I just didn't want to print them all up. But these have been quite powerful, and simply manipulating these words and discussing them was a fantastic exercise in itself. So you'll see in our schools, you'll see lists and lists of words with magnets on whiteboards, and kids changing them or manipulating them. This is another one using synonyms. The words in bold on the left-hand side were the ones that were up there. And then there's a whole series of words, and the children had to try and put them into order so that they could recognise their synonyms. So just trying to resource, I guess, activities that would match our units of work. Brainstorm for conservation prior to starting on that topic, so thinking of the key words that they were going to come into. So where are we up to now? We have a large staff turnaround. As I said, we only have 3 staff in the same grades next year. We need to bring everybody up to the same speed. We have new staff. We have 5 new staff coming in that have never done high reliabilities or be involved in AIZ. So that's a bit of a challenge for us because it's almost like we're moving backwards. And I think you mentioned, wanting to move along, but also recognising you have to go back. We need to ensure consistent language. We found that grade levels were using particular languages, and then the preps would change that language to suit their kids, but we need to come across and make sure we've got consistent language. The other thing for us has been a common planning document. We've got 5, 6s that plan in a particular way and have it all documented beautifully, and then we have other year levels that don't want to let go of their document. So that's been a bit of a contention for us. And then we want to extend across to the specialist area. So that's basically where we're at the moment. Okay, I just wanted to say that a lot of these activities just are from across the school, and we appreciate what our staff have done. That's it. Thank you.
Where a school is losing a whole lot of staff, and I think this would be a useful activity anyway, if there were times before the end of the year, for each school to draw out what its code of literacy teaching practice is at this point. If you've got a clear statement of what you believe at this point literacy teaching really looks like in your school, and it's to some extent agreed upon, I mean, you've been working on this for the year, it should be possible to bring together some statements that most people will agree on. That you believe that, if a parent will go into any class in your school, getting knowledge ready would be being done. Getting knowledge ready is part of our code of teaching practice. In Betty's school, she mentioned reviewing at the end of each session. Well, making sure that reviewing is part of the code of teaching practice. It actually then shows to any new staff member coming in, as well as to any existing staff member, or to anyone in the school, any child, any parent, that there is a body of professional knowledge that underpins practice in the school.
John,
that's gone.
We've actually done exactly that. We have a management book that comes out at the beginning of every year, which is sort of your Bible for the year.
Yeah. So
what we've done is written literacy and numeracy documents that sit in there so that any new person can come in and think, right, okay, we have a launch, explore, summary for numeracy and a 5-minute number recall. For literacy, we're following the high reliability. So we have done that, and we've got manuals and resources we've made for staff, but they do still need training.
Oh yes, they're not going to know what it is, but at least it's a statement that says this is where we are, and it's up there and it's out there.
And John, just further to that, that is exactly what we have been working with, in particular with our primaries in the development of the whole school literacy plans, and all of our primary schools in Zone 1 we're doing that. It is part of the Powerful Learning Strategy document within NMR, and the expectation is that this is in place in our schools by the end of term 1.
So that's really important. When we first did that at Belfield, you know, and John now I think calls it his pillars of learning or something or whatever. But anyway, it was really just a code of teaching practice that was allowed to evolve. It's not set in concrete, that can change, you know, as you learn new things. The bottom line for all of the data, I guess, and this goes for every school, is what is it that the children say, and then what you know that the children do. And so I guess we need to keep in mind that that needs, you know, that we do need that. It may well be with the teachers, with the new teachers coming in, but you might need to say, like if you've got one or two big books, that you actually have some illustrative examples, like in the Little Red Hen, where, you know, on page 2 it says, the goose was a gossip. She chatted with the neighbours all day long. That the new teachers are aware that when they see that they can use the picture on the page, what the goose is doing, paraphrasing the sentence, to work out what gossip means. Or where on page 3 it says, the cat was vain. She brushed her fur, polished her nails, and straightened her whiskers all day long. So I think some people coming in will need to see particular examples that they can then use in any class. So that, and I think that this again is going to apply to any school that's taking on new stuff. So these are really exemplary activities that actually show what it looks like. Because one of the issues for a lot of the teachers coming in will be, how do they actually embed these in the content they're teaching? Now, and the sooner they're doing it, the better. So it could well be that a lot of them will agree, yes, that sounds right, that's a reasonable thing to do, no, they all agree with it. But if in each classroom there are one or two sample activities, like you've got one or two pages of text that actually show the meaning-making motor of the child. Is that okay for everyone?
Yeah.
Because that really will get the message over clearly.